Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And yet again, I brought on JD Rosario as my co-host because tonight we're doing an open mic show. So I'm gonna put the link in the show notes so anybody can come in. We can talk. Everybody's gonna get 5 to 10 minutes to let us know about anything and everything they want to talk about. We can talk about the new year, talk about what's coming up, and that sort of thing. And
What's up, brother? Happy New Year! You can only say that, every so often, and we get to say it on the day of with this show. Thanks for having me back. Hopefully, you'll give me back those photos that are in your safe, so I don't have to keep coming back on Sundays. But hey, nice to be.
You're never getting those photos back. That's going to require a huge cash deposit.
Oh man! Guess who's funding his next Kickstarter all by himself? Yeah. Yes.
All right, cool. Well, listen, man. I mean, we just started, and we already got a couple of people popping in. So we'll bring on the first set of people. We can talk about what's coming up for 2023, because 2022 was what it was, right?
It was what it was, baby.
Hey there.
How you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you guys are doing well.
We are.
Good. We're ready to get the new year started.
Yes.
Yep. So, Mel, how you guys are doing? How's it out there in beautiful California?
Pretty good. We're just kind of like taking a break from cooking right now.
Yeah.
And
I have the stove on.
We got everything on there low to give us time to do this quick little
announcements.
Yeah.
Let's hear some of these announcements.
Yes.
What's up?
All right.
Okay, so this year, so we've been on hiatus for the from the Artist Alley shopping network, but we're going to start that back up again, and that's going to start in 1920. That's going to start back up on January 22nd, and we're going to do something. It's kind of like what Mog has been doing, just drawing, but now we're just going to make it where she's just going to be doing like blank sketch covers. So you'll have the opportunity to buy most of them, but not all of them.
Exciting.
Yeah, because we've got like over 1,000 blank sketch covers, and I got to try and move those out.
Oh, somebody's ready to rock and roll, man. I hear
one of the big announcements that we're making too is that we're going to be starting another new show on the Experience. That's with Kyle Northrup and Jen King, and this show is going to be called The Sketch Up, where Mog again will be drawing there, but along with her drawing, she's going to have a special guest from the industry. So it could be almost anybody, but we're going to try to promote anybody that's got like a project coming out. So if you guys got anything up coming, will be haven't sent up the notices out yet, but we will eventually roll those out. Kyle has already started making some contacts along with that, and hopefully we can make an official announcement has been made, but we'll be making an official announcement very soon with the guest lineup. Yep. So we're looking forward to that.
And where will people be able to find this announcement?
You'll be able to find it here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Okay.
So those are the ways. Probably Instagram as well, but Instagram and Facebook they're kind of connected. So I don't feel like doing the same apples again. So yeah, but we should be able to see it. Of course, you'll see it posted on Mog's Facebook page. Also on the art page, Art de Mog Park. That's where we're pushing all the art off to. If you guys haven't noticed that we haven't been putting much work on Mog Park, but if you miss seeing her artwork, that's where you want to go. It's Art de Mog Park for that. We're also getting ready to announce our line of shows and cons, so you can pay attention to that. That's going to be coming out shortly, probably like tomorrow. It's not a finalized list. It's really too early to finalize everything. But I believe I've got about 80% of it confirmed already. So people can look forward to coming out to the shows and meeting Mog and myself. And
give us a hint at where some of these shows are going to be at.
Okay, so We have Gem State Con, which is April 1st and 2nd. WonderCon in March. We've got Fan Expo in Dallas, Denver, and San Francisco. And then we've got our big show for us is Las Vegas, where we have several booths there. And we set it up. We're going to be setting up like an art gallery with Mog stuff. And we'll be bringing along one other artist with us, Luis Bravo. So if you're familiar with him, that guy is like really kicks out some really good art, and he puts it out there really cheap. So take advantage of that while you still can. And there's some other ones that I don't want to say until I confirm them. But
Gotcha.
Yeah.
To answer your question for Tom, AASN stands for Artist Alley Shopping Network. And so my show will be like every Sunday, I think it's 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
California time. So that's where I'm going to do those blank sketch covers.
Right.
So,
Yeah, she's been there. She's coming up on her 4th year on that already. So we've been there for a while. And even though it takes quite a bit of time, we're trying to see if we can like work it out. The one for the experience, right now we're going to be doing it weekly. But once the cons start coming in, we'll be doing those every other week or as time allows it within our schedule. Then eventually we'll get back to the weekly schedule again. Same thing with our Artist Alley. It's it all goes to within reason what the schedule is. She is open for commissions. If anybody's interested, we've been getting a few. We've had commissions closed for a while. And but we're kind of like opening it wide open right now. And the reason for that is that we're not doing as much cons as we are in the past. So that's going to give us time to where we can focus on our own work, the commercial work, and be able to take on commissions a little more. At least that's what we're going to try. Right. So if there's something you'd want, now's a good time to try and hit Mog up for that. And let's see, the one other project that I'm just going to put a teaser on is that we probably going to come up with our own book, so we'll be watching for that. These are ideas that we've had for over 20 years. Okay, so we've had 20 years to think about it, plan it, and talk about it. So I think it's time it's come to fruition where we can put something out like that.
Nice.
That's pretty much it for 2023 for us.
It sounds like you got a heavy 2023.
Yeah, seriously, it sounds awesome. And listen, when you get closer to releasing that book, let us know. We'll bring it back and we'll do the whole, we'll do the whole thing.
We'll be hitting everybody up, got to promote it, hype it up, All right.
All right. So
thank you guys.
Thank you. Everyone up. Happy New Year.
Have a happy New Year. All right. Take care, guys. Have a good day. Have a good night.
Take care.
Bye-bye. All right, cool. All right, let's bring on the next person.
Wow.
What's up, Paul?
Hi, how y'all doing today? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
man.
Man, I got to say, I've been a big fan of the show. I love the topics, love y'all's personality, and love everything that y'all been doing.
Thank you. I mean, we really appreciate that because Jay, that's a huge compliment because he doesn't have a personality.
I don't.
Well, I was going to talk about football with you today, Jay, but I mean, I don't know if that's the topic. So
no, it's a battle today. It's a battle today, Paul. No, breaking my heart. Why you got to stab me in the heart so early? New Year.
Happy New Year. But yeah, I mean, I know I haven't been on the show. I wanted to introduce myself. My name's Paul Gomez. I'm a brand new writer. Well, I've been threatened, so I can't say that anymore. But I'm going to say it this one time. I'm a brand new writer and creator in comics. This past year, I put out 4 brand new comics. Awesome. And it's been an amazing year, and I'm looking forward to the next one, man.
All right, cool.
Way to be. What do you got coming up in the coming year?
Yes.
Well, I have my Prelude to Aurora is going to hit Kickstarter February 17th. We're going to throw a big launch party. And I've got just got signed, and I'm not allowed to say until the 15th of this month. So in a few days, my books are going to be with a certain publisher at that point, but we'll be I'll be talking about that hopefully next week and stuff like that. But yeah, Prelude to Aurora, February 17th. And then after that, I'm going to be working on my 3rd issue of Bushibu Circus Mysteries. I've already put 2 of those out. So yeah.
Nice. And where can they find that? If anyone
Unfortunately, my last publisher let me go, and I was taken off their website. I don't have my own website at the moment, but again, like I said, I am talking to a publisher who's picking up all my books and the 15th of January, and I'll be making that announcement.
Okay.
Also, I'm hosting a show called Reality of Comic Publishing, so that's been a very new experience. And like I said, I've been meeting so many new people and checking out a lot of new shows, and I love your show.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Reality of Comics Publishing can be found on YouTube.
Yes, it's on the Madness Network.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Pops.
Yes.
Yes.
I was with Comic Crusaders, and I was doing 2 shows with them, but they cut down. They cut down a little bit, and so I kind of went and did my own show because I was co-hosting those shows.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
That's cool. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, so I mean, when are you said you're launching? When are you launching your new campaign?
February 17th. It's going to be
February
on Kickstarter. That's going to be Prelude to Aurora, and just to give you a little heads up, that's Gargoyles versus Demons in a Chosen Ones kind of type of storyline.
Nice. It's black and white, full color.
Full color. All my comics are full color.
Ooh, how many pages?
This one's going to be 26 pages. I've got 2 comics, PTSD and Cryptic-K's, that are 22 pages. My flagship comic, which is Bushibu Circus Mysteries, are 32 pages, excuse me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Prelude to Aurora sounds like it's going to be popping, baby.
Man, I'm telling you, Gargoyles, Demons, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a mystery that's going to pull everybody in. And it's, like I say, you know, every story has a beginning, but this one starts before that. Prelude to Aurora.
Nice.
You are a salesman.
Thank you. Hey, being in the comics, you have to be, don't you?
Hell
And
yeah.
I'm telling you, having watched y'all shows, I picked up a little trick here and there, and you know, I appreciate all the advice that y'all have been giving to everybody.
Well, don't use the ones that I've given, because that you'll fall flat on your face. You know? Use the ones that
Listen, I would say the same. So you know,
Well,
that's
I'm
why we
looking
bring
forward.
guests.
I'm looking forward to talking to y'all about all these ideas that y'all putting out there, because I hadn't really been able to put my input on it.
Okay.
And I really, really love to bend y'all's ear about some of the stuff.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
it. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Paul. We can't wait to have you back to talk more about Prelude to Aurora.
Yeah. So that sounds great, Paul. I mean, you know, when you're getting closer to launching, you know, reach out to me, and then you know we'll bring you back. You know, we'll pop it really hard.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Hopefully, get you a few sales.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Thank you, Paul.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Do you have? I mean, other than Facebook, do you have like Twitter handle, anything like that? Instagram?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all under Paul Gomez 790. So you can check me and find me there. You can message me, talk to me, anything you want. But like I said, all my books are currently in limbo now. But on the 15th of this month, they'll be picked up by a publisher that will announce it then.
Nice.
Gotcha. All right.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. Have a good one, Paul. All right.
Thank you much. Have a great night.
All right.
Have a happy New Year.
Wow.
All right, yeah, you got to kick yourself out.
Yeah. This is one of the things I didn't know.
Take care, Paul.
I thought you were the producer here, man. Come on.
Listen, I don't like kicking people out if I don't have to. All right, we got another creator up here. Let's bring him up. What's up, Dustin?
What's going on, gentlemen? How's it going?
What's up? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm really excited to be on the show tonight because Mog Park was bending my ear about coming on and hanging out with you guys.
Cool.
I haven't done a show probably in 9 months now. I just don't do them very often. But you guys are a lot of fun. You know, JD's got awesome anthro books and stuff. So that's part of my wheelhouse.
Nice.
So, man, 2023. So we're putting out 2 books a month right now.
Wow.
This month will be under our blue label. Red Label puts out a book a month right now. So that's 3 books a month we're putting out. But I'm really excited for this year because we're we're going from 43 team members to 57. And not only that, we're looking at building a physical location this year. So that's what we're doing, and I'm excited about it.
Nice.
Nice.
Where's that physical location going to be?
In Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
We've got, so like right now, like we've got The Listener coming out again next month. Book 5 of The Listener drops next month, or this month. Jesus, Happy New Year, right? So that The Listener drops this month. Fallen Leaves issue 2 drops this month. That should be really, really cool. That book did really well for us, the past issue. And as we talk about it, the actual physical copy starts dropping this month as well. So pretty stoked about that. I don't know, man. Lots of craziness, lots of anthro stuff. If It Hops is probably one of our most famous books. And we got a new issue coming out of that. The pre-orders of that are coming in here shortly. So we do like Diamond. I owned a brick and mortar for a few years, and I picked up, I'd like to think, the better habits that they had when they were dropping books off. Like, so our books are like, we've got a Kickstarter going on right now for our Christmas special. And what we do is we do pre-orders for 3 months, because it helps shops that are used to ordering that way to prepare for it and work their funds out and stuff like that. So that's how we do all of our orders. Our Kickstart orders are always 3 months out. So we're very, very thrilled with that. We've picked up a new printer for 2023. Lots of cool stuff, man. Like I said, we're moving into other regions. We've picked up 3 new writers as well. So we've got a total of 5 writers in the company now. And the books are flying, man, and people are having fun. And I think that's the most important part, that people are really enjoying the content, 24 to 32 pages, full color each book. And this is it, as we've grown, because this is year 3 for us, as we've coming into year 3, as we've grown, we've started picking up more and more talent that seems to have disappeared in the community, so you're gonna start seeing like Marvel cats. We've got guys from Basement Comics that work with us. I mean, Devin Massey, Dan Kemp, Dave Kemp. I mean, I could start going on to, in Marvel, DC. That's generally where we tend to stick, because we were growing up with the 90s comics, right? Those were the guys we worked, that's what we wanted to read. That's what we wanted to see. So that's who we tend to work with. It's the talent that you're used to seeing from when you were a kid and younger. So that's generally, I find that cats our age are the guys buying comic books.
Yeah.
So
We're the only ones that can afford it.
Yeah.
Right. So let's put out the content for those cats. You know what I mean? It's, bad anthropomorphic bunny chicks, and dinosaur dudes that own gentlemen's clubs, and there's a lot of fun content with like across the board. We're at 15 IPs right now.
Okay,
so
nice.
It's a lot of fun, and getting to work with so many fabulous people is beyond phenomenal. And like you said, the fan base is incredible. The fans are the lifeblood of the industry. So it's literally like.
Do you find it stressful trying to manage so many IPs?
When I started, it was real stressful. If I hadn't had Nita and Meredith to help me when I started, I probably lost my mind. I probably would have, because I'd been screwed over by a couple agencies prior to that, and I probably really would have lost my shit. But not anymore. I have a executive assistant. I have an art director now. You know what I mean? There's as we grow, it's new positions are opening and stuff, like full-time jobs, and it's mind blowing. Nice. So no, not as stressful anymore as when it was when I started.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, JD.
No, well, I just want to ask real quick, because you're running a campaign now. How's Kickstarter treating you during like Christmas? Because I know some people try to avoid it, but
So no, well, I feel like you know, and I've only been doing this for a few years, but I feel like it's one of those things you have to meet head on. Like, I can't be scared to put out a campaign when 40 people are getting paid by me every month.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
people are, this is their livelihood and their jobs. I can't be afraid of. So like we put out, we did Underland at the beginning of December, and that book came out at like 16 and a half, which was okay. And then this book we dropped the day before Christmas, I think. And we're at like 7.5, almost 8 now on this one.
You see, Calderon? He's got the chops. He's got the balls. He's got the cojones to launch the day before Christmas, bro. Look at that. I don't.
I'm looking up because I don't know who you're talking to. You know, I drop a campaign every other day if I can.
I'm surprised you didn't drop one this morning.
But I think it's important to understand, though, that like JD has a fan base. He's had time in this industry. I would not be that cat that came in for my first book and dropped the day that Brian drops a new book. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it. You know, it wouldn't. Or if, you know, Marat's got a new book out, if I've only been doing this for 2 issues, I'm not dropping a book the night that Marat drops a book. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's very intelligent to plan those things out when you're first getting into this industry, I think. But as you grow and as your fan base grows, you have to be able to keep up with the demand for your product as well, you know, because, you know, a lot of these cats are like, I put out a book every 6 months. I put out a book every year. Those are the guys that find themselves struggling when you drop a book in December, you know, or you drop a book, you know, for a major holiday, because they're going, no one's read my book in a year. You know what I mean? They don't know what they're getting. They're, you know, so unless you've got massive talent, not to say that those cats don't, but unless you've got like massive names or a backing, it's dangerous. I mean, it's dangerous to risk the funds. But if you're already paying for it already, you know, like our books are paid for ahead of time. So if you're already going in to pay for it and you're dropping, our books average 7,500 in production a month. So it's like, so if we're going to drop 7,500, I have to know that we're going to make that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely. So like right now, if God forbid that we don't get any more backing on this issue we've got right now, it's like 7,700. It's paid for itself. You know what I mean? So I'm not stressing it because we just had a book do 16 earlier in the month. So now we're going, okay, I'm already paying for January and February. You know what I mean? Those are the next 4 books I worry about.
You're looking at your numbers by the quarter or by the end of the year, as opposed to by the release.
Well, it has to be quarterly, right? Because if you do, like my taxes, I do yearly, and I suggest everybody does them yearly. Don't do them quarterly; you'll beat yourself up. But it becomes this thing where if I'm afraid to put out a book, it's going to fail. It's going to fail. If I don't have enough pride in the product that these people are working on, even if it's not me writing it, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's like, let's say, well, we use Rain for an example. Rain's dropping next month this month under the Red Label. So if Lieris's book is absolutely beautiful, it's stunning, super mature stuff. If I didn't have pride in it, though, I wouldn't push it and I wouldn't put it under, you know, I wouldn't publish it. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where as you grow, you have to realize you have to have faith in these individuals that you're working with and pride in their product. Even if it's not yours, you have to have pride in their product as well, because it becomes a almost like a mental back and forth. Your fans and your viewers and your backers, they all see how you feel about these products, you know? So,
well, in the end, they all become your babies, right? You're the publisher.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? Man,
yeah.
Look, I'm in love with Agency. I think she's a bad bunny. And if you go around the internet right now in the indie scene, there's a good chunk of people that are going to know C, even if they don't know who I am. You know what I mean? They're going to know C. They're going to know it's a character from this or from that. Or, you know, even like if you go, let's go for Babes Born Dinosaurs. People know the title and they don't know who I am. I have plenty of people go, hey, look, let's go pick up BGD. and it's like, oh, well, I did that book, and they'll be like, shut up, and I'm like, no, I wrote that book, and those are the things that are interesting to me because, and like I tell my wife, when we're gone, there are certain characters that are well beyond us, that are bigger than us. With April Reina being part of our company and helping us grow the company. Yeah, man, you have to have pride in everything you do because it's powerful. It's just like when you stand in front of people. Tom knows better than anybody. If you're standing in front of people and you're talking about your product, it's very much like this is your life. You know what I mean? Here is, here's my life on a platter. You're either going to pick it up, you're going to nourish it, and you're going to build your stuff out of it, or you're going to let it fall to the floor.
Yep.
And
listen, we got a table in here. I got other people waiting.
Yeah, for sure, man. Y'all be good.
We'll bring you. If you want, we'll bring you back. I'm doing a regular show next week. If you want to come back next week, we can.
Yeah, man. I'd like to come hang out with Double J's. It'll be a good time.
Yes. All right, cool.
I'll see myself out. You guys have a good one.
Take care. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. You see, why do you got to let people, close the door behind them? You can help them. You can help them.
What are you talking about? Look at this guy. This guy waits patiently.
Happy New Year, Larry.
Happy New Year, my brothers. What's going on?
Happy New
I don't
Year,
understand why we just all can't just hang out. Like, do we have to shuffle in and out? Is that how it works tonight or what?
Well, yeah, that was kind of the idea because I'm trying to get everybody to promote their stuff real quick and then just come in and out.
People one-on-one time.
But this guy's here too, Max.
Max, what's up, Max?
Not much. What's going on?
Yeah, you know how me and Max operate. We're gonna come as a pair, brother. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. I don't have anybody behind you, so we can keep talking until somebody else comes in.
I saw Tom Hutchinson out there. Let's get him into the mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I popped the what is it? I popped the
I want to know what Jay's drinking there because he slammed that one down.
I know. This is Jack and Coke, rum and Coke.
What do you got going on there, brother?
That's how you got to start the year, Max. We knocked out one Jack and Coke for the night.
That's what I had last night. I got drunk 2 nights in a row, so I'm like sitting here recovering stage. You know what I mean?
I've been doing wine since the 25th. So
damn.
Let's get back to some spirits.
So yeah, happy New Year, happy 2023 to you all.
Yes.
And so, what does 2023 mean for you, Mr. JD Calderon?
All right, that's my question I ask you, sir. You first.
More pigtails.
There you go. Nice. All right. For me, it's more of this, man. It's more interviews, more talking to more creators, and more books, man. Just creating more Oswald. I'm hopefully gonna put out Dreamweavers. I got a couple other projects on the burn, so we'll see, man. We're gonna do hopefully some interesting things.
Yeah,
Sweet.
For me, it's I'm finishing up my fulfillment right now. I'm actually doing Gemini's as we speak. I didn't even show you what's going on, but I guess my camera doesn't want to work right now.
Camera's like, no.
Yeah, I'll have to troubleshoot that later. I guess I'm not gonna be able to show you. But I'm doing up packages. We're gonna do Savage Sin, our fantasy book. That's gonna be coming out of the gate. Pages are starting to come in for that, and then Niobe Outbreak #2, probably more towards the spring or summer. I'm trying to hope to get 2 or 3 books out this year. I wish I could do a book every other month. It's just not there yet.
Okay.
Daphne, Bird. Where's the bird tonight, JD?
I don't
miss it.
Bird.
I just finished eating my Lucky Hood black eyed peas.
There you go.
So I'm taking on this new IP. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, we'll see if it has the the numbers that Niobe can drive. Hoping to do more with Antarctic Press in the coming year. There's talks of Niobe Penguina story from both me and Ben. Like he's going to do his version. I'm going to do my version. Nice. It might be a crossover with Tom Hutchinson somewhere along the way. We'll see what happens there. This might be the year of crossovers, to be honest with you. Max got Kickstarter though coming up next week.
I do.
I know.
Yes.
I've been seeing those covers are beautiful.
Banging, kid.
Yeah.
Yep, they're good. They're fucking on point. We got some good talent.
Yeah, I
We
saw
got our-
Fabio did one, right?
Yeah, Fabio Sumeo did one. We got John Royal that did one. With Ula Moss did the colors on it.
Nice.
We've got Gardinio, Diego Bernard, Fernando, of course, because he's the artist.
Gotta let him do one.
So how many covers you got coming out on this one?
10.
Holy!
I'm a bad influence on him. You know what I mean?
Well, this is the fourth issue, and it ends the story arc.
Okay.
So I wanted to go out with a bang. We got cosplay cover by Karen Nicole.
Oh,
Nice.
We got a bunch of covers.
Nice.
Check the
Yeah,
Kickstarter.
we got John Stintsman out of I don't want to say comic book retirement because he's never really left, but he's back, baby. He's back. John Stintsman of Lady Pendragon and Evangeline fame, doing covers for me, for Max, for whoever is out there that wants to bring him on. He's looking to come back into the game. This is just a piggyback on what Dustin was saying, where he's bringing back these artists, that maybe he was reading when he was younger in the 90s. We're doing the exact same thing. We're going to bring Patrick Blaine on, Top Cow fame, who just did $13,000, by the way, on Crown of Fire. Congratulations, guys.
Even. 13,000 even.
Even, like to the dot. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Is Tom backstage? I thought I heard a pop.
No.
No, okay. Tom, get in here.
I put the link in the show notes. I mean in the chat. So
sometimes you just got to send it direct, right? But yeah, lots of good things coming up, man. The YouTube channel, is going to evolve and change. I did my 40 days and 40 nights of live streaming when I was medical leave. Now we're going to be back to once a week on Saturday nights. Tonight's exception.
40 days straight.
Well, I had prostate surgery, so I was out of work for 6 weeks while I healed. So I did nothing but live stream for like all up to Christmas, man.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Fine. I'm good now. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I was fine during the surgery. It didn't really hurt or anything, but it's an internal organ that has to heal. So, you can't really do a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah. Jay, if anything happens to somebody else, you tell Jay about it, he feels it.
Oh man, dude, you don't know. I got like that empathic sensation, dude, and it's just like
the big thing for me is I'm working full time right now. My goal is by the end of the year, I want to be doing comics full time. Okay.
Yeah.
If I can do, like, say the last Niobe campaign for Outbreak did 30 grand Canadian, which is about 25, 26 US. If I can do that 3 times a year, then that's more money I make at my day job.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We got the big dog himself, Mr. Tom Hutchinson, is here with us.
Hey, Tom, Happy New Year, dude.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me in.
Is it cold there?
It's like 40, so no, it's fine.
Where are you at?
You got a good jacket on and shit.
Michigan.
Okay.
It's I mean, it's cold enough that I'm going to put a shirt on rather than turn the heat up and listen. I'm 51 years old. I understand dads and the thermostat now. I get it. It's money circulating through the house, so I understand. Put another layer on,
you gotta stay warm, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How was your New Year's Eve, Tom? What'd you do? Just probably.
I listened to the Hillbillies fire off fireworks in the rain. That was interesting. But but at least the rain, it was like maybe 20 minutes worth of that, and then they were like, "Well, shit, it's raining. We'll go inside." Normally, it's like an hour or two. It's like 2 a.m, and they're still popping off. So,
I'd rather that than in the city where there's double parked cars getting honked at because other people want to get out the spot. So that's my equivalent of fireworks. It's just bam, all night. I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it was funny because I was literally last night I was working. I was just writing and doing some Kickstarter stuff, and all of a sudden I started hearing like pop, 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 and I'm like, who's shooting? And then I looked at the clock and I was like, oh yeah, it's that New Year thing. And then I was back to it.
Yeah. I live inside my headphones, so like I don't have like speakers on my computer. I just have headphones. and I use my computer for everything: watching TV, writing, approving artwork, doing everything. I just do it all on my computer. Gaming. So I live inside these headphones.
And you don't hear anything?
Nope, I don't hear shit.
Lucky.
Got the noise cancelers. Nice.
Yeah. Lucky.
We got some good people in the chat tonight. Imagination TV says that he likes the Niobe streetwear. He says it looks sick. Thank you, brother.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go pick up a
Yeah, it
t-shirt
is.
today.
Consummate salesman.
So a card and a stack of cards. Yeah, that's generally how business cards work nowadays.
Yeah.
Even now at the cons, it's like people ask me for a card, and most of the time I have one. It's like, here you go. But generally now it's like, look, just take a picture of the banner. Like that's that, and it's in their phone, and then they're like going through their pictures. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that. That's way better than like a. I mean, I'm amazed you still have it in a stack of business cards versus it just got tossed out at some point along the way.
Oh, I have
They
this
end
like
up-
little cash box I would bring into conventions with me, and that thing is full of business cards. I one day have to go through.
Yeah.
You know, like-
I use them as bookmarks, so they'll be like somewhere in my collection.
Oh, that's something. Okay, that's
it's like-
something.
yeah.
I got a folder of business cards and sample artwork from potential artists that want to work with me in the future that never respond to their emails. So
Yeah.
people respond to you. Shit, it's more than what I get. You know what I mean? Like,
So Tom, what's up for you? What's coming up in 2023, man? What do you got working? What are you working on?
Oh, a ton of shit. So we're about to launch our Kickstarter along with Max on Saturday. So Ursa Minor, the final part of this volume 3 launches on Saturday the 7th. We're almost ready. As is always the case. We're almost ready. By Friday we'll be good to launch on Saturday. Be fine.
Gotcha.
It'll be fine. But yeah, the holidays always muck me up because like I always talk about, like, holidays aren't anything for me. I just keep working, but I always forget that people celebrate the holidays. So in my mind, I'm like planning things and, oh, they can work through this period. And, they're like, this is like Christmas week. So we're taking days off. And I'm like, God damn it. That's going to like take us back a notch on schedule, but it's all my fault. I need to like plan ahead for that stuff. So we got some art that's still being produced, but it's really close and we'll be ready to go on Saturday. And then in February, I am teaming back up with Dynamite Entertainment to relaunch Bad Kitty on Kickstarter. So we'll be doing a sort of a second chance Kickstarter campaign for those that were not part of the Indiegogo last year. You'll have one more chance to get in on the book through Kickstarter, because we had a whole lot of people that kept asking, like, "Are you going to do Kickstarter? Are you going to do Kickstarter?" I was like, "Well, it's not up to me." But I brought that to Nick and the Dynamite guys, and they were like, "Yeah, we're good to run it for a couple of weeks." So February, you'll have a couple of weeks to catch up on Bad Kitty with us, and then March we put Penny for Your Soul back in print, Volume 1, for the first time in like 5 years. We're going to do a big hardcover remastered edition of Penny for Your Soul Volume 1, which is the book that kicked us all off in 2010. We're going to have a hardcover version. There'll be a softcover version, some special bonus items part of that too. But it's been out of print for like 5 years, so I'm really excited to finally get that thing back in print.
What does
Nice
remastered mean to
hardcover,
you?
because we did a hardcover for Critter a couple of years ago, which came out like mind-blowingly cool. And so now I'm like, okay, now we got to like do this again for these books that are going out of print. We'll do a new hardcover version. So that's the first quarter of 2023.
What does remastered mean to you?
We're going through. So it's the first book I ever published. So it's really, really bad. And so we're going to go in and clean up some of the dialogue.
Make it not so
It
bad.
never really had an official editor. Like, it was just me and my wife. We kind of just edited it ourselves, kind of just like, well, we got to put this out. Let's give this sort of a once over. So it never really had an editor. So it's being sort of remastered from a dialogue standpoint. It'll actually go through a real editor this time, so we can really clean it up and have like a a true version of this book. The art and stuff is all staying the same. That's not changing. The story is the same, but it's really just kind of the cleaning up all the dialogue. And then it'll have like a complete, cover gallery for all the stuff we did. You'll have all kinds of character design stuff that was in there. Basically like we did with Critter, which is like the ultimate director's cut edition of Critter, because it has literally everything we ever produced for that initial volume in that 180 page book. So, but with Penny for Your Soul, since this was like a 7-issue series, it's going to be well over 200 pages of hardcover goodness. So I'm excited to get to it.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
badass.
Yeah. Are you going offset, or are you doing a POD on that?
Oh yeah, no, we'll do offset. Well, just like we do for all of our stuff. It'll be so the hardcovers will be like Critter. What we did, they'll be limited to like a couple hundred copies of the hardcover, and then we'll print like 1,000 paperbacks, so that we have those in stock, for however many years to come. But yeah, we that was our first one that sold out. It sold out at a time right when we were going over to Aspen, and things were just kind of really weird for us, and so we never went back into print. And so it's been this thing that's been sitting on me for a long time, because we'd go to cons and I'd be selling like, here's volume 2 and Joan of Arc and volume 3, and they're like, well, where's volume 1? And I'm like, well, shit. So we basically just started selling the other books. And if they bought the other books, we just sent them a free copy of volume 1 digitally. And that seemed to work out. And I would tell them, hey, we're going to have this back in print, but for now you can at least read the digital and then on. And they were like, oh, cool. As long as I can read from the start, they're happy to dive in, which was kind of interesting, because I didn't know that they would care. If I kind of figured like if they're buying physical books, they'd want a physical one, but they were perfectly happy to get a digital one and have the story available. So it's kind of an interesting revelation from a sales standpoint.
All right, cool. I'm gonna, if you guys want to hang out for a few minutes, you can hang out for a few minutes. You want to bounce out, you can. Oh, wait a second, Larry just popped something up here.
I'll show you something quick before you bounce us all out. This is the cover to Evangeline #3 from back in the day by Mr. John Stintsman. And of course, we are going to honor the man with his Savage Sing cover. If it will pop up, I guess not. I guess I'll have to show, reshare the screen.
Modern technology, baby.
Right? But you saw the first one. So here we go. There we go.
Oh, nice.
I like
So
this.
Homage to John Stintsman's Evangeline #3 here.
See,
I like
himself.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
just
the
a
homage.
taste of things to come,
Yeah.
And this, you outside of our normal covers, which are just usually sort of like sexy pinup covers, this actually has to deal with the story. Actually, you know what I mean?
There's stuff going on.
It's sexy, baby. Yeah,
Savage
what's going on there?
Savage booty.
This is it.
Yep.
But,
How dare
that's
you
what
let
the
one
taste
sneak
of
by?
things to come. There you go.
No, it looks awesome, man.
You and your story.
There's
What's that, bro? You know what I mean?
fucking writers ruining everything.
Oh, I got a nice buzz going right now. I just gonna be honest.
The JD is going down well. It went down well for me yesterday too, so I get you.
I'm feeling good, baby. I'm feeling good.
Right. All right. Well, I'm gonna start bringing in more cats so we can start talking to other people.
Cool.
Okay.
Peace.
All right.
Hey,
What
Mitch,
is up,
what's up, Mitch?
everybody?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Mitch.
everybody. Happy New
So,
Year.
Mitch, what do you got going on, or what's coming up?
No. Well, for those of you that don't know, I'm relaunching my signature character, the Boger, as a quarterly ongoing series. So there will be, 4 issues a year, 4 campaigns I'm doing. I have some artwork here from issue 2. The first story arc I'm doing is the Boger versus Samurai,
Nice.
which is something I've always wanted to do. Something that takes place in medieval Japan. So I'm probably going to start crowdfunding at the end of January.
Cool.
Yeah, because I have the first 3 issues done. I just have to do, all the extra stuff, the covers, and what little extras I'm going to have along with the campaign. So I'm going to be busy for the next month.
Now, who's
tell you? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, JD.
I was gonna ask, who's doing the artwork? Is that you
It's
or
me.
you have? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that does everything by myself. So.
Oh, you must drive yourself crazy, dude.
I do. I do have an editor. That's one piece of advice I always give people is get an editor. You cannot edit yourself.
Yeah. No, you cannot.
Yeah, I proved that when I put out my first book.
So did I.
I think we all proved that.
We've all proved that at one point. Yes.
God, the typos.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Jesus.
I know what I'm doing. I don't fucking need anybody.
Yeah. Yes, the same way. I was 22, I think, when I started, and it's not it's not a good age to edit your own stuff.
Look, I know editors who need editors, so I've met a few of those. Some of them run big companies.
I've noticed. If you've seen the April O'Neil issue that came out from IDW, that had, instead of April O'Neil, it was Arpel O'Neil.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sure.
Calderon firing shots already at the beginning of the year. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right.
You're supposed to let bygones be bygones. You know what I mean?
Why?
Bro? Old Land Sign, all of that stuff. Come on, man.
That's so last year. It's so 2022.
Listen, I'm still stuck in the 80s. We're real vengeful fuckers
I
from
can
back
tell.
then.
I keep thinking 2019 was yesterday.
There you go. Shit. I wake up. I'm trying to figure out. It says, when are my books going to be in the next Diamond Cal? I'm like, wait a second. That was 92. So
my nephew tells me the other day, he goes, "Oh man, you must be old. You're like from the 90s." I said, "You motherfucker." You little shit. I love him.
I saw this Facebook post where like this kid's like, I found my old dad's gaming machine, and it's like a PS1, right? Like, fuck, what are you trying to say here, kid? You know what I mean?
The Game Boy must be the Rosetta Stone for him.
Dug that out like the grave,
Long ago, when DVDs were new, they had this DVD player on display at Circuit City, and they were playing a cartoon. I think it was Aladdin or something like that. And they were like, the kids like, yeah, this got great graphics, blah, blah, blah. Look how crisp this picture is. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay to do it with a cartoon. I mean, the Genesis could pump out a really good cartoon image. You know what I'm talking about? And the kid looks at me like, no.
What's a Genesis?
Yeah.
I was like, damn. And this was in the 90s.
I got a finely curated DVD collection that I don't want to get rid of. I didn't have the money to transfer over to Blu-ray. So
dude, I still have VHS tapes, bro. I have a 3-set Star Wars where Han shoots first.
not even
so
Han shoots first. Han shot only.
Yeah, that's true too. And it's true. He's the only one that shoots. He's just, he just murders a dude. And that's the part nobody was. Well, okay, he murders a guy. So what? It is,
He murders a guy that was going to murder him anyway. So
exactly.
He was a space cowboy.
So what other two movies do you have on the VHS with Empire Strikes Back?
Star Wars, the first one, and Return of the Jedi. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Listen, because I was that cheap motherfucker that you extend the tape, 3 movies on every VHS.
No. I have the official 3-box set.
Oh, excuse me. Somebody had money. Yeah. I apologize.
Listen, not all of us were raised like you, brother. We're fucking wolves.
You gotta learn to pause the tape before the commercials come on, so you can cut it out.
Yes. Max. Max
my
is welcome
uncle
to my house anytime.
When my uncle died, we found boxes of VHS tapes because he had subscriptions to HBO, Showtime. He was a huge movie buff, and he had boxes full of VHS that he taped from TV.
Well, I remember back in the day that, HBO and all those places would have occasionally, like maybe once a year, like a 3-day free, and that's when you just bought all your tapes and you just recorded everything that they played for 3 days. And you had more than enough movies when you were done with that.
Right. Now,
Hey,
I'm
John.
bringing John. How you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy
Sorry for
New Year.
keeping you waiting.
I was just talking about this man the other day, actually. John, how you doing, sir? You
Hi.
probably don't remember me at all. We've been on a couple of streams back in the day. But this man down here, he's the guy that worked on the Boba Fett animated cartoon for that Star Wars holiday special. And I had like my friend of mine, John Stinsman, on, artist from the Image Days, big Star Wars buff, and we were talking about it. And for the life of God of me, John, I apologize, I couldn't remember your last name, right? But there you are. Here he is.
Here I am. I'm Boba Fett.
You're Boba Fett. That's right.
Exactly. I mentioned Star Wars. I thought it'd be a good point to bring in.
Yeah, okay.
Good
segue.
worked on a lot of other dog stuff.
You speak and he will show up.
Yeah, no, of course he has. But I meant in the context of which we were referring to, and though was about the Boba Fett cartoon, right? Yeah.
So, how you doing, John? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What are your plans, sir?
My plans are to fulfill book 3
Nice.
in the January. Well, January. I'll start doing it tomorrow. Start putting all that together, and I'm working on book 4 of the series. So doing that and working doing the new show with on Indie Comics After Dark. The Devil's in the Details. So there'll be a live stream, and I'll be animating. Doing animation of Michael, my Blood-Winged Angel, doing all kinds of exotic dancing, pole dancing, and stuff like that. I can animate. I can show the principles of animation: squash and stretch, overlapping action, and dancing.
No one wants to see me dance. I'll tell you that.
Pardon?
I said no one wants to see me dance, especially exotic.
No, but no, yeah, you'll. I will be animating the characters and things of that, so explaining the process but doing things where Michael is nude, so therefore you can do that with it's artistically, it's classy. It's nothing that you wouldn't see, in a life drawing class.
Let me ask you. You just held up some books. You said number 3 of the series. Can you show us the books again and tell us a little bit about the series?
Okay, Blood-Winged Angel Chronicles is the story of an angel, an innocent angel that is it becomes a pawn in a giant chess match game between the forces of darkness and light, and Michael is as I said, is a very innocent angel, the youngest angel, and is sent, and is banished to a dystopian to a world, and in the process of being sent out, the promise to all angels is broken. If you obey my rules, you'll be safe. Well, that breaking that promise rips the fabric of the universe momentarily, and then is restitched, and then suddenly you no longer have you have an altered universe where we don't know what the rules of morality are, and that's a world that Michael lands in and is turned into from an ethereal creature or form into a semi immortal, and is both male and female. And so this is the world that Michael is in, and we follow Michael becoming the guardian angel of a neighborhood filled with demons, sinners, and living dead. Nice. And that's what the story is all about. It's an ongoing series, the way your life is an ongoing series.
Yeah. It sounds like my life in Twitter.
That's it. Well, listen, that's right. I mean, it's everybody's life. You meet every kind of con artists and someone going after you, and you got to figure out what the rules are, because rules are not what you think they are.
I second that, man. So how long have you been working on this for? A couple years now, or?
Well, yeah, I wrote it essentially as a novella that I published on Amazon back in 2013. But then other things happened, and I turned it into developed it into a Happy New Year, brown dog. It's developed it into for to pitch to as a network or as a net for HBO or limited series. And then so I started adding characters and developed that idea, and then did it and decided to do it as a web comic. Tossed that aside. It was too edgy for some people, and then came back with it about a year and a half ago. So this is about at the moment I've published 120 pages of the story, and it's ongoing. I'm working on the next 30 pages of it, so there's plenty more to it.
Now, the first arc, how many issues is going to be in the first arc?
There's probably I've got about another 3 issues, so there'll be about 6 issues. So it'll be about 200 pages, 240 pages of story in that arc, and the arc is all. I mean, everything that's already been written, and so the first arc is that completes one thing, and then we keep going to the next one. There's all kinds of there's metaphorical aspects to it. It's just it gets real deep. It gets silly. I'm an animator, and this is how I work my stories and my artwork.
All right, cool. I mean, John, listen, I'm a huge supporter, and I'm looking forward to the 3rd issue. I'm looking to the 4th issue. I'm looking forward to all the damn issues, and I'm looking forward to the trade paperback as well because I'll back them all. So you know how I am.
Yeah, eventually that will happen. As soon as you have to have the story arc complete, before I do that. But yeah.
All right, nice. Well, if you want to hang around, you can hang around. If not, you can go. Okay. I got another guest coming on.
All right.
Jamal, how you doing?
Hey, Jamal.
Hello. Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jamal. So what do you got going, Jamal? What's coming up for 2023?
Well, issue 1 of They Call Him Marvelous regular series is completed, and I'm halfway done with issue 2.
All right.
And I'm also working on a anthology trilogy starring next week called the Messed Up Tales Trilogy. It's basically an anthology of 2 classic tales with my own spin to it.
Cool. Now, what type of classic tales are there? Is like fantasy,
like fairy tales, tall tales.
Cool.
Like, for example, I may do my own take on the 3 Little Pigs.
All right.
Nice. So, I mean, when you said you have a Kickstarter launching, when's it coming out? When's it launching?
It's on its last day.
Oh, it's on its last day now?
Yeah.
You got a link? You could put it in the private chat. I'll put it up in the in the chat, and then everybody can go check it out.
Yeah, shout out to Jamal. Hey, Jamal, I just saw you pop in. I was in the other room for a second. So Jamal Simpson here, he's part of the family, if you will. He's part of the Antarctic Press family. His story, They Call Him Marvelous, is actually printed in the pages of Exciting Comics right now. You can go actually check that out on the shelf.
Nice.
So he works really hard, at this. He's probably going to have to relaunch his Kickstarter in the new year, but we'll help him revamp it a little bit so that we can get his story out there,
Yeah.
Nice.
I already know that. it's going. I won't make it, but there is an old saying though. At first you don't succeed. Try again.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, I won't let you give up, brother. Don't worry.
Yeah. Don't give up. Just keep working at it. Because I mean, you can make it.
I already considered giving everyone a second chance with a Indiegogo campaign in March.
Yeah, gotcha. I would suggest just trying it back on Kickstarter. I mean, maybe just readjusting the because IGG is like tough as all hell sometimes. At least on Kickstarter, there's a good chance that you can make it.
Yep.
I don't know what your goal settings are, any of that stuff, but you just got to keep pushing. So, all right, cool. Jamal, you got a website you wanna announce so we can let everybody know where they can go? Oh, okay, cool.
My choices is either Indie Planet or launch my own online store like Big Cartel.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right. All right. Now I'm gonna bring in the boss woman in a moment.
Uh-oh.
Not my boss woman, just a boss woman. Nita.
Oh, there you go.
Shit just got real now.
Happy New Year.
We're all in trouble, aren't we?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So
I'm
what's
not
up,
a
Nita?
boss. I'm a coordinator, man.
Okay.
That's
Right.
it. Not much, man. Fucking want to tweak some stuff on the main network. Got the adult site coming up. Already planning on. We're working on building the website because I'd like to have a place to direct stream so that I don't have to stay within the
YouTube guidelines. Yeah.
YouTube guidelines. If I want to bring tits and ass comics on, I want people to be like, hey, look at my boobies and come buy them. Like none of this whole hold your fingers over nipples so you can show them on the screen and all that bullshit. Let's see what you got, and let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it right now. Got a bunch of new people coming on, so I'm excited. But I had to come on because Max was here. I never get to see Max anymore.
I'm around. Just not that often.
Yep. So it's network shit and edits. Edits.
Get the editing done.
So I mean, how many new shows you have coming up, Nita?
All right. So on the main, we've got 2 new ones coming up. That haven't been officially announced. One is Fike It, Let's Draw. That's going to be Rodney Fike's draw stream on Monday afternoons. Indie Rush is coming back, the one where we were announcing the crowdfunders, but we're going to do it a little differently. This time Tina and I are going to go through, curate a list of 15, 20 crowdfunds each week and highlight those, just go in, talk briefly about it, pull up the campaign, not do the creeper crawl because everybody gets bored with that now and tunes out real quick. So we're going to try to banter a little bit while scrolling the campaigns. Let's see. We will have The Devil's in the Details coming on the adult network. House of Bob will be moving over there, as well as Shots with Comics with Chad Perkins and Sabrina Clark. Oh man, what else? I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of changes coming. It seems a little chaotic right now, but give us some time to readjust from the holiday break, and I think people will be pleased with what we're doing. So
you got a good head on your shoulders. You got this.
It's okay. It's the okayest head.
I got a new show coming in Facebook.
Oh, that's cool. When's that starting, Jamal?
It's called the Batman Critic Commentary, where I fan commentary episodes of Batman the Anime Series.
That's cool.
Shout out to the great Kevin Conroy.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P.
There you go. There you go.
But I'm only doing 2 episodes every Saturday.
Oh, cool. So what times it starts on Saturday?
I haven't decided yet.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Now we brought in Jake Tevester. What's up, Jake? I don't know if he's even
Oh
in.
shit! How did I end up in here?
Oh my
I
God,
don't
he's
know.
back.
I'm back from the living. Wait, yeah, I am back from the living. Hi, everybody.
Happy New Year, Jake.
Happy New Year,
Happy
Jake.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
Happy New
Yeah.
Year.
It's like almost 3 a.m. So I'm pulling witching hours here.
Oh.
Hi. Hello. I'm Jake Twister. I'm a Norwegian comics creator. So hi.
Cool. So how things in Norway?
Cold.
Yep.
Expensive. What else can I say? I haven't slept and like wringed my neck just yet. That's about it.
All right, cool. I mean, do you have any Kickstarters or Indiegogos coming up anytime soon?
Fuck no. No. I don't do that type of shit. I do not like the business model. I hate it. I hate it with all my heart. So instead, I try to like develop my own approach to the whole comics business thing. Instead, I try to do the long and hard and arduous task of creating a 5 to 7 year plan that will potentially just implode itself at some point. Maybe in the 10-year span when I'm actually realistically able to deliver stuff. I am planning on writing this whole year. I'm just going to write over like 700 to like 1,500 pages of just stuff that has been like boiling in my blood and in my brain for the past 7 years. And I just want it out of my head so I can move on with my life. And then I can finally quit comics because fuck comics.
Fuck comics, man.
Then you'll be back 6 months later doing more.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the sadomasochism that I'm aspiring to, you know.
Yes.
You never quit comics. You can't.
Exactly.
No.
It's like in your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
So-
black and all that stuff. It really matches the page, really.
So what's your story going to be about? Is this one story or you're writing multiple stories?
Oh, multiple. Just like developing a lot of like properties and stuff. But primarily, my next big project. I mentioned this earlier today. In the Sunday Funnies, I'm developing a let's call a spade a spade. It's a school shooting. I know it's not a good topic, but I want to like tell a story before that whole.
We're all gonna get swatted.
Yeah.
No. Listen, artistic interpretation. It's just that it's not gonna happen in real life. I'm sorry to disappoint you. We're not gonna tell dumb scores like that anymore. I'm just become so hooked into this like virus, this whole fucking thing that aspires it. It's like myth. It's like a perverse myth that is being propagated. And I'm reading a good book about it too, column by David Cullen, and it's actually a treaty on the whole thing, like from a very clinical perspective from a journalist, which is very rare to see this type of work actually. Probably the sole authoritative figure on the matter in a sense, and I feel it's like a good creative inspiration in a sense, but I just want to take it a step further on the more magical side of it, not like the grotesque.
Gotcha.
After that, it's just sword and sorcery comedy with one of my favorite OCs that I've been developing, and just some other stuff before I'm delivering the magnum opus. Probably, I don't know. We'll have to see when I'll be able to like deliver on that whole Catalina Island experience. I don't know.
Hold on. Imagino says, comics to tell a story we all need to tell though, right? And the medium has always been subversive to some extent. There you go.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah,
look,
I've always
comics are
had
no
the-
different than watching a movie or watching a television show or hell, even watching the news. You know what I mean? Social issues and social commentary have been in comics forever. You know, when we did Niobe Birthright, it was a story on abortion. We're doing Niobe Outbreak now, which is my play on the virus. You know what I mean? So to hear, you know, his story is really not a shock to me, to be honest with you.
No, actually, I find comics to be like the sweet spot where like imagination can meet reality in sort of like it's not incongruent to what is being like discussed in social issues and all that stuff, and it's a firm place where you can actually play out the worst type of stuff in a very simulated experience where it doesn't like feel it's all too real, but at the same time is very real. So
I mean,
there's a lot of odds and angles that I cannot explain here. I need a whole show for myself with that stuff, but I'm not going to hog the mic on that.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, listen, Will Eisner, when he started out doing graphic novels, this is what he was talking about. He was talking about real life and, you know, real life issues. You know, so if it was good enough for him, it's good enough for the rest of us. That's how I look at it, right?
Oh yeah.
So, all right. So I mean, listen, does anybody else have any more announcements or anything? What's going on? Who's here? What's going on? Here, let me ask a straight up question. Of 2022, right? What was the one thing that you regret that you didn't do?
More comics.
Right?
Comic-wise, probably not put out as much material as I think I should have.
Yeah.
Open my
'cause for
own
me, it was
online
little-
store.
There you go.
Getting my finger, getting a boo boo, a mallet finger. That's what I wish I didn't do.
You gotta be careful where you stick those things, John.
For me, I don't
Believe me, it was in the line of duty. Anyway, there you go.
I don't have an answer to that. Like for us, 2022 was a phenomenal year. We made the most money we ever did on Kickstarter. We got published and put on the shelves. We got to work with not new, but top tier artists, more bucket list check marks off my list. I just hope to have the same year in 2023, if not better.
Nice.
All right, cool. Well, here's the question for you, Larry. What would make it better?
$50,000 Kickstarters.
Amen.
Nice. Okay, there you go. Nice. All right, cool.
Larry, I love you, bro. He doesn't pull no punches, bro. He's like, fucking money. I mean, yeah, we want the big numbers. We want the big numbers. I want to break 5 figures. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
I regret that too, Daphne.
Yeah, me too.
A box of 6-gallon water.
Yeah, she crippled herself.
Yeah,
Give herself a hernia?
Yeah,
So
she
did the
tried to kill
whole
herself.
box weigh 6 gallons, or was the box full of 6-gallon jugs?
Yeah, it was 6-gallon jugs.
Oh man, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Six 1-gallon jugs, right? Not 6-gallon jugs.
No. Yeah.
If Daphne could lift 6-gallon jugs, dude,
I would be impressed. That's what I'm saying.
I'd be like, man, don't fuck with her. That's my partner. She'll fuck you up.
I'm just surprised that Calderon's going with the nickname 6-gallon. I never heard anybody call himself 6-gallon. God damn, kid. What you packing, Hammer? Shit.
Quadruple roper.
Thank you, Marginiso.
Nice. So, Jay,
Yeah.
you're up, bro. Ask a question.
Oh, I didn't know we were asking a question, dude. I wasn't prepared. I was ready to go through the cycle.
You're
of
never
everybody for
prepared.
tonight.
You're never
I'm
prepared.
never
Exactly.
prepared. I'm a winger. That's what I do. I wing it. I wing
Let's
the
go.
shit.
So break out a wing.
Break out a wing.
I'd love some wings right now.
I love some wings too. Is anybody going to do a convention this year?
I'm
Me?
hoping to go to Montreal in July. I'm looking into it right now.
Okay.
I got a place to stay. Oh, big news for me too. I might have a new printer in Canada. What was interesting, I had a visitor, old friend of mine, drop by the house the other night before she went back home to Quebec. Turns out her husband, great guy by the way, works for the printing company that was printing for Aftershock Comics in Aspen.
Oh,
And now they are looking at printing Niobe. So we're going to see what happens there. I might be printing through the same companies that those guys. Now, Aftershock Comics, of course, we know what happened to them. And he told me some crazy stories, man, about how much money Aftershock owes that particular printer. You know what I mean?
440,000.
But they're still printing Aspen, and they do comics. So I might actually be able to save myself some money and go through a printer here in Canada, which I'm going to look at. I'm not ready to turf Comics Wellspring just yet, but I'm looking at my options now.
Moral of that story: pay your bills.
I don't know. It went beyond pay your bills, dude.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
way beyond that.
They had a $13 million angel investor that wants results, and
right,
13 million.
Yeah.
Listen, man, it takes balls to be in the comics.
Jesus.
You know.
Well,
so
but
what-
see that those investors, they're not looking at comics; they're looking at producing things for Hollywood.
Right.
And
Yes,
that's
they're looking at IP.
basically what so many of these publishers have become now. They're not comic book publishers,
And that's why they're falling
shit
apart.
on the wall publishers, because it's
That's
like,
it.
what can we throw and what will stick, and
That's
then what
it.
can we then option to Hollywood, and that's where all of this stuff is going sideways, because there's no actual love of comics and producing that comic and that story, particularly long form, which comics traditionally are long form storytelling, issue 1, 2, 3, 28, 29, 30. Now everything's 5 issues and then pitch it to Hollywood, and then we're on to the next idea. That's not how comics buyers want comics to exist. Even if you make a 5-issue miniseries, they want the next one, then they want the next one, then they want the next
Right.
one. You just come out with like, here's 5 issues and I'm done. Like, that may be fine for a 6-month window, but then that book's forgotten.
Yeah, and also the other thing is when they hire these creators, we don't know the rates they're giving them, because they're like probably paying them top rate for Marvel and DC, right? Because they have an angel investor, so they're not putting in their own money. They're not worrying about whether or not their book is going to recoup, because they're looking to just sell it as an IP.
Right. Yeah. It depends. There's a lot of it depends in there, but
Well,
yes,
top
for
rate,
sure.
Oh, yeah.
top rate for Marvel and DC dropped this year severely.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Also
they're not-
depends
they're
on who you
not
are.
building. It definitely depends on who you are,
Yeah,
right?
I
But
don't-
if you sorry to say this, C or D, and I'm not knocking C or D people, because I'm neither C or D in the greater scheme of things. But those guys, they're not even, gals are not even making royalties, and they're getting pennies, man. They're getting pennies.
Well,
on the
the problem is that there's no sales. Like, if you look at the sales charts, these guys who are these big publishers are still only selling 2,000-3,000 units, on a regular basis. Maybe a few are a little higher, but for the most part, unless you're a licensed property, like a Power Rangers or something, you're not cracking the 10,000 mark. It's very, very difficult to even hit that mark in comic sales in the retail market.
Yeah, didn't they report Gargoyles recently sold over 180,000 copies of their first issue?
Sure, yeah, and again, it's a known IP.
Yeah, that's a
dozens
well-known
of variant
IP.
covers. A lot of retailers were doing their own covers, which bumps up all those numbers a lot. But over time, but again, it's a known IP, right? Transformers, Power Rangers, King Kong, Godzilla, all these things sell higher numbers. But when you're talking about just coming in with, hey, here's X creator, and I have an idea for a book, and putting that out into the market, a lot of times you're looking at 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 units sold, unless you're at Image. Maybe you get a little higher if you're at Image. But at places like Aftershock, Vault, Scout, etc., a lot of those sales numbers are like top out at about 3,000 units, and there's no money to be had there. And that's why you need the Hollywood side and all the angel investors, because again, you're not making comics at that point. You're making pitches for Hollywood.
Yeah, it's screenplay comics.
People have stopped. We don't have a comic book industry. That's what we just have, a farm system for Hollywood.
Correct.
Basically. And what it is that in terms of comic books, if you go back to really what is the magic of it, is being able to be an auteur and then create your vision and put it out there. But you better not depend on it as a salary, because art never has been that way. If you go back to the old days of just writing anything for novels and whatnot, you always had a first job. Novels were always something that you did for and there were publishers who understood how to market something, but we don't have a distribution system. We don't have point of sales. We don't have any place for comic books to be discovered or books to be discovered. You really have to know ahead of time. You have to be someplace, but you don't have a place for the young person. A little, little JD or J Rosario going out to the candy store doesn't exist anymore, and that's where the seeds were planted for the love of comics. I mean,
well, Marvel and DC are back out there. They're back in Walmart. They're back in Target.
But here's the thing about all those places: the kids have got to be told, have to be brought there. Okay, there is no wandering, and that's where that's where all of the really strong comic books of the young people.
Yeah, but that's no different than it's ever been. Even when it was in a 7-Eleven, you still had to go to where those things are. You still had to go to 7-Eleven even to find the rack.
Right.
So you have essentially the same concept.
I'm going to go a little deeper than as a kid. I could go down the street, and there'd be 3 or 4 different candy stores within my ability.
When you were able to be free range, you could just
I was a free range kid at the age of 6 and 7. It's a whole different world. We're talking about what the seeds of what this as 20-year-olds or 30-year-olds going to these the various comic book shops. That only happened because you had that original, ability to create, to fund and grow an audience with the young kids and being able to go and actually create the popularity of those IPs.
But the other problem is that young kids now, they are more interested in whatever's on YouTube or their video game or so on. So there's far more now competition for their time than ever before. So it's barring Marvel and DC or whoever, Image or whatever, actually going on places like YouTube and creating channels and actually doing interactive things with younger people in whatever capacity. Comics are going to continue to drift out of their understanding. Even things, even if you go to like the Marvel world at what is it, at Universal Studios or something, there's comics at the Marvel world. I mean, they sell that stuff there. So comics are not impossible for kids to find. It's just a matter of, do they want to have a product that really there's no interaction. There's no friend interaction. There's no interaction with the product itself. It's why books have even dwindled off over the years. I mean, you obviously have the big hits like Harry Potter and things like that, but the movies are really what people even talk about and discuss with Harry Potter far more than the books, just in the general pop culture world. So comics right now, while we are moving away from, like what you talked about, it's very hard to make these sales. We're now at a point where the creators don't have gatekeepers in between them and their audience. So there's no more Diamond. We don't need distribution. There's no more retailer to decide whether or not we are in their store. And then we're sitting here going, I'm making a book. There is a small gatekeeper within Kickstarter and Indiegogo, but for the most part, they're like, yeah, go man, make your thing. And then it's me to Kickstarter to the audience, and there are dozens upon dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of examples of creators now being able to go direct to customer and change the entire system so that they are actually making money and they are actually paying their bills with it. I mean, look at Brian Pulido alone. Look at Dan Mendoza, who now is doing 100,000. Bill McKay just came out with his first Kickstarter, did 100,000. So there's a difference in the system now. And I used to be in the system. I used to be Diamond. When I started, I was at Diamond 10 years, well, now almost 13 years ago. I started at Diamond. I moved to another publisher with Aspen. We were still with Diamond. I saw the sales that were there. But now when I'm doing Kickstarters, everything is different All your margins are different. Every single thing is different.
100%. That's the key right there. The margins, because you know what? I was speaking to somebody from Image. Excuse me.
All right, guys. Jay, hold on a second. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on a second. I'm not. Just hold on. Keep your thought. I just need a couple people to drop out because I got people trying to come in,
I'm
but I
bouncing.
can only do 10.
I'm out.
All right, guys.
All right, I'll go.
All right.
Yeah, I was the first one, so I could be out. That's cool.
All right, guys.
All right, happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
All right. So if anybody wants to come in, they can come in now. All right, cool.
Yeah, I'll go too. So happy New Year.
All right, take care,
Happy New
Mitch.
Year, Mitch.
Happy New Year. All right,
So,
so Tom.
Tom.
and of course-
no, go back to
Yeah,
Tom.
sorry,
I'll go
Jay.
again.
He's your favorite. He's your favorite.
Yeah, go, Tom. Do it.
No,
Come,
Tom. Jay had something to say because he was
Thank you,
replying.
Tom. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Jay always has something to say. Go ahead, Jay. Say
I
it.
just wanted to tack on to what Tom was talking about, and margin was the key thing there. All right, with crowdfunding, there is a creator community that wants to see people succeed as much as they want to buy comic books. So the margins are higher for us going direct to consumer or direct to community with crowdfunding platforms or direct to crowdfunding. Let's say that's the new DTC. Whereas even with Image, right, or other publishers, now you're paying, the publisher gets a vig as well as Diamond and the retailer. So here you're making more, which hopefully, if you're doing your homework, leads to you creating more content in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you sell it's simple math. If you sell 3,000 units to retail and you make $1 a unit, you make $3,000. You sell 1,000 units at Kickstarter and you make $10 a unit, you make $30,000. I mean, it's really simple math. So, it's just, it's something that I had to kind of learn, even because there was a while when I was at Diamond that I was like, hey man, I'm in Diamond. I understand the system. I've been here. But when I came out of Diamond and I decided I'm not going to do Diamond, I'm going to just do Kickstarters and go direct to customer, it changed everything for the business. It changed absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And manga sales are a completely different thing from comic book sales. They're 100%. They're a different product. They are produced in a different manner. They are displayed in a different manner. They are sold in a different manner. And the reason that they can keep doing it the way that they're doing it is because of their price points, because of the way that the things are produced. There's a litany of reasons why manga can do what it's doing, not the least of which is that it's simply right now manga and anime in general are the hot things particularly as far as reading, right? So with comics, or I should say like with the characters, like let's say Captain America and whatever, the movies and the cartoons are far more influential than the comics, the original source material. But with manga and anime, all of that stuff is way more tight knit. And so when you watch an anime and then you go read the manga, you're getting that same experience. Whereas if you go watch the Avengers in the movie theater and then you read an Avengers comic book, that shit is 180 degrees opposite of what they experienced. And it's harder to get them involved into comics. And it's actually something that James Gunn just talked about, where he has talked about now about resetting the DC movie universe while at the same time making whatever they do in the DC movies equate in some way within the comics. Now, whether that means making like a new, ultimate universe for that stuff, or whether they're going to actually change the real books, whatever you want to call them, that we don't know. But he even understands that if someone sees the Batman and they get driven into the comic books and they see something that isn't the Batman, the Robert Pattinson thing, it's harder to make that sale. So that's where some of these companies are looking at things right now too.
Calderon, I want to highlight something that was brought up here. Raven Knight said kids don't do Kickstarter, but the LCS don't buy mature comics. Not only do they not buy mature comics, they don't buy independent comics.
Yeah,
right.
Well, rarely. Rarely. There's a small community of them.
Their business model is not set up to support us at all. Not knocking them, not knocking the local comic shop. Right. They got to make their money also if they want to keep the lights on. So the way we have to build that community is, you know what, hitting the local comic shop on free comic book day, right? Doing the what, kissing babies, shaking hands kind of deal wherever you can, whether it's on free comic book day, whether it's conventions. You know, you got to do that. You got to bring that in. Is it our place to usher in the next generation of comic book readers? I don't think so. That's a weight we can't carry. But if we could grab a couple kids along the way with books that aren't mature, you know, then yeah, that's a win, right?
Well,
but then, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, she says, how do you bring in a new audience who don't aim for teens? I don't aim for anybody. But I will tell you that when I go to Comic Cons, there's teenagers all over my table. But nothing that I have on my table is aimed for teens. I have stuff that is all across the board: Western, superheroes, horror, fantasy, whatever. The reality is that if you make something cool, doesn't matter what age you are, they'll look at it, they'll find it, and they'll be like, I want that thing.
Yes.
So you don't necessarily have to aim for teens. I mean, even Marvel and DC have done that. They've kind of tried to make books aimed for a younger audience. They invariably fail because the people that are reading them understand that that's not the real book. Like, they want the real Spider-Man. They don't want Spider-Man Adventures that looks like, you know, Steven Universe. They don't want that stuff. So for me, in terms of what I do, I just make the stuff that I want to make, that I think is cool, that I know that when I'm on a show like this, or if I'm at a con or whatever, I know that I can pitch it to anybody. Doesn't matter what age they are. Now, if they come in and they're certain ages, I can say, like, okay, we're not going to show you Penny for Your Soul, but we are going to show you Critter. We're going to show you, you know, whatever. So there's that. But make things that are cool and be able to talk about how and why they're cool to people, and your audience will grow across age groups and race and ethnicity and whatever, because if it's cool, it's cool, period.
True. We got Jing. What's up, Jing?
Hey, how's it going?
Happy New Year,
man.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
it's 2023. It's unbelievable how time
It's a
keeps
little
flying.
weird. Yep. So what you got going on? What's coming up for you in the new year?
So I actually just started deciding to publish certain other creator-owned books. And so I actually picked up the book of Laxia, and that's going to come out this year. And then the third volume of my series, Symphonic Verses, comes out this summer. And all the TV show stuff is about to drop. And
very nice.
And then the powers that be at the studio, all my bosses, we have to wait before we can say all the network and all the stuff that's going on. So I just have to wait for them to say that I can talk about it, and then I'll be able to say all the stuff that I want to online. So that's going, and I've crossed a pretty massive milestone. I've been able to sell to date. I'm at like 5,034 copies sold.
Nice.
Physical.
Very nice.
Thank you. I don't use crowdfunding. I don't do any of that stuff. It's just direct sales to readers, to local comic shops, and so I'm very happy about that, and looking forward to selling more and getting more people around the world familiar with the series.
Cool. Now, what do you do? What do you do most of your selling? Do you do it mostly at conventions, or are you going to shops? What are you doing?
I do some. I have I'm building a list of local comic shops that I work with, and then I sell on Walmart, Amazon, directly from my website, and then where people can order the books from those other online retailers.
All right. Nice. I mean, do you do a lot of I've seen you at shows. I remember I've seen you because you're out of New York, right? Out of the Northeast.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah, I used to live in Colorado, but I'm in New Jersey now, and yeah, I mean I do shows sometimes, but not always. I used to do a lot more of them. For like almost 20 years. I was, I remember the first show I went to, green as the Emerald City, because back then, there the things weren't like they are today, where you have these online communities and access to learning about the medium, the way that it's done. It was so different back then, and I just had black and white copies that I had stapled together and like trimmed myself and taken to this this show, and I sold out of them.
Nice.
And then I did another one, and then at the third show, this was like maybe 1999, maybe 2000. I remember I was sitting right next to Jason Martin, who inked Battle Chasers and X-Men. And he came over to my table. We talked during the show, and then he came over to my table and he was looking at my sketches. And I will never forget this. He said, "Keep doing this, because this is how you become the next big thing. This is how you make things like how Joe did. You break out of the molds and it turns into something else." And then here we go, where I had 162 rejections. Diamond rejected me. I couldn't get anybody that I wanted to work with to want to work with me. And then the guys from Hollywood see it and ask what it is. And we had one phone call that probably lasted 4 minutes, and they immediately were like, "Yeah, we're going to turn this into a TV show." And then from there, all these other things happened, and things I never thought would happen. And it's like, I don't know. That's what I find interesting, is all the things that people said that were the reasons that they said no have kind of become all the things that make people say yes in these other elements, where, I mean, things like Santa Monica Studio, those people are brilliant. The team that makes God of War, I got a chance to show them symphonic verses, and they told me that what I'm doing is impressive. And I thought, this can't be happening. You make things that the whole world likes, and yet they're telling me that I'm doing the right thing. So it just, I think what I have found over the years is that despite all the things that can happen, you just keep being true to your creative self and doing the things that you want to do, and things will happen that you wouldn't think possible.
Man, that's really cool. Yeah, man. I mean, you just got to keep trucking forward. You know how it is.
Yeah.
We're always on the grind.
Right. Exactly.
Paul has returned.
Yeah, so I mean, this is one of the things that I loved about your shows is y'all's topic. Y'all were talking about how you have to be out there, and I honestly feel there's that market out there that's being missed with the teenagers to mature, because most of the stuff out there is either too mature or too all ages, and there's not that real middle stuff. Now, how, I don't know if is it Zing was talking about, you have to find that's something that not everybody else is doing. And I'm not trying to plug myself, but my first book that came out was, PTSD. And this was a book that a lot of people told me I shouldn't have done, and that it wasn't exactly a comic book type of book. So whenever I actually did it, because it was a passion project and I wanted to talk about mental illness and awareness, whenever I put it out there, it sold like crazy. So sometimes you have to get out of that state of mind if you're making a comic book, because a lot of people make these comic books that are superheroes or, just stories kind of thing. You got to find those niches that are the holes in there. I mean, it's not just...
Yes, understood, but not all the time, Paul. All right, because most of my catalog is superhero stuff. I'm not going to deny it. That's my wheelhouse.
So
right?
here's the thing. So whenever I first started, to write this stuff, I was doing it with my kids. So it was really about what they wanted.
Okay.
And they were, teenagers at the time. And I realized, whenever I first started finding comics, I was a teenager. So they were finding comics and they were a teenager, and I started asking them, what did you like? What didn't you like? And that's what they told me. Most of the comics out there, even Marvel and DC, even Image, Aftershock, because I love Aftershock and Scout and all those other great comics. But they were saying that all this stuff was either, too over their head, mature, or too young for them. So it's like, if you're going to be successful, don't you want to aim for that area that's not being tended to? I mean, right now, DC and Marvel hold, superheroes, not exactly the monopoly, but if you're going to break into that, it's going to be harder because they have so many of them that are well known.
I got you, but all right. I'm not looking for market share. No way I'm going to make market share, right? I'm not even going to achieve that. But then I'm a New Yorker, right? And if you come to New York, there's a pizzeria on every corner,
right?
And if that was applied to comic books, right? If that same thing was said to them,
which is what I'm doing.
Why would you open up a pizzeria? Because there's one in this corner and there's one in that corner.
And if there's no Mexican restaurants, why not open a Mexican restaurant? Because you might. This is what I'm saying. Right. You find that hole, and I think of it like the movies. And I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to make movies. I never thought I was going to make a comic, let alone two. I was doing this as a home project for my kids, so I never thought it was going to be as big as it is now. But whenever it started getting a little steam, I started thinking to myself, how they make movies and some actors go out there and make that blockbuster so they can make that indie film, then come back and make the blockbuster that makes the money. Well, you got to kind of apply that business sense.
Of course.
So you got to
Even that model has been already nuked with the middle budget.
Well,
done.
That's what I'm saying. What is out there that you can make a breakthrough right now? Like I said, with the teens and bringing bigger audience. I'm writing everything that I can to aim for those teens to say, hey, I understand you're not too young, but this is the stuff that's going to be aimed for teens and more mature stuff. So my stuff's been selling off the table left and right. And I feel it's because whenever I go to cons or LCSs, and like I said, I've sold at 25 out of 28 of the LCSs in my Metroplex. And the reason that is because it does sell so well. And they see that it's marketed not for the too mature, so they can carry it on their shelves. And, I definitely think I price it reasonably to them. And if I hadn't, then I don't think, just about every comic store around me picked it up, including 2 comic stores out of state.
Okay.
I think this is a lot of things that people are missing. And what they're doing is having that focus, that, like blinders on. They're like, I'm making a comic. I'm making whatever I want because I want to do it. And that's fine. But is that really a business model that you expect to succeed?
Well, it's not just that. It's, there's so many different elements you can apply to this, because if you're making a comic book for the first time, chances are it's really not going to be good. Tom brought this up earlier, right? His first thing on his own, right? He's redoing it. Dude,
okay,
my very first 4 books, I did it as well. I did the same thing.
I don't think I'm good. I don't think I'm great. I don't think, again, I didn't mean to jump into this industry. Let me just tell you a little bit of a story about myself. I started writing whenever the pandemic hit. I lost my job. My kids were stuck at home, and I wanted to do something to build the morale. So I started getting my kids in a room every day for an hour, and we started writing stories. And as kind of a thank you to them, because it was coming all together, I was like, let me make it a comic for them, because they were just getting into comics. And we were going to draw it and just have it at home. And we met an artist who said, hey, you should put this on the shelf, make it comic shelf worthy. So I didn't intend to make a comic. Now, having said that, whenever I decided to make it a comic, I started throwing everything I could, because I wanted to make the best comic that I could. If I was going to sell it to someone, it was going to be worth every penny. Having said that, you know, the first review that I got was from a high reviewer, and he called it phenomenal.
Okay.
He called it phenomenal. He sent it to another reviewer that called it phenomenal. And again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I don't know what numbers really mean or anything like that. But whenever I tell people that I sold PTSD 1,000 copies in that first 3 months, they seem to be impressed.
Good. That's a good number, man.
So having said that, you know, the numbers that have followed with the Bushibu after that, Cryptic Haze after that, it just seems, like I said, it has roller coastered it. And I feel it's because I did aim for those teens that didn't have what they were looking for.
Good. And I hope you don't think I'm knocking you. I'm not trying to knock you. I'm happy you're making books, bro. Anybody that can, you know, turn a nickel out of this, well,
Right.
shit, God bless you. You know, because this is tough.
Yeah, man. No, I agree. It was a lot tougher than I thought. It was hard. That's why I made my show, because I wanted to tell people, hey, and just because you have an idea isn't going to be, you know, peaches and cream stuff. This is stuff. I went to all these comic stores, you know, day after day and said, hey, what do you need from me? How can I help you? You know, I've been to like 10 conventions this past year, and it was, you know, hard knocks because I didn't know anything about it. I've been with one publisher. I'm going to be with another one in a few days. And this isn't stuff that is easy.
No.
You know, and this is what I try to tell people. This is kind of the journey that I've seen. And these are the mistakes that I've made and seen other people make. And I don't want it to be as hard for other people. To me, I think the audience is there. And to be bringing in new audiences, especially teenagers, that could be a bigger audience later on, is our responsibility. Because, you know, where are you going to get that fan base if you don't reach the people who don't have it or aren't in it already?
Okay.
All right, true. All right, we got another guest in. Mark, how you doing, Mark?
Hey, how's it going,
Happy
fellas?
New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
All right, so what do you got going on?
We do a bunch of stuff over at Imaginos Workshop, man.
Okay.
All right, tell us.
I got some reverb going here. Let me see what. Okay, sorry about that.
That's all right. But tell us about Imaginos, because I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's new to me, so I want to know what's going on.
Let me try to fix this reverb.
Okay.
We've been around, man, for about 12 years. We used to be Drunken Style Studios. Anybody from back in the 90s might know us.
What books?
We did right now we're doing a book called Extras. We're doing a book called Judah Fist, 7 Deaths of the Yobi. We do another book called Imaginos Plus.
Nice. You know what? That's what I like about independent comics. No matter how many I know, there's still a bunch of them I don't, and that's the most awesome thing. Because I'm serious. Like I've shit. Send me your website. Send me a website. I got to see this stuff. You know, because I'm serious, man. I mean, I've interviewed, had hundreds of people on this show. I've backed 300 and something plus campaigns on Kickstarter, 60 something I think on Indiegogo, and it doesn't matter how many I do, I always find something new, and that's the thing that I find awesome, bro. So, yo, man, so tell me, what do you got? What's coming up? What's exciting you, man?
It's fun. Well, I don't know, man. We got a well right now, man, we do a lot of other stuff. We're not just we don't just do comics, but comics is our basis. We write screenplays and stuff. We do try to do TV stuff. We do short film stuff like that. We just finished a short film, and we just finished. We also do like live plays for like role playing game stuff too, right? Because most of my work is work. I started out doing mostly role playing game work. You know, that was my. I'm scared to do comics, so I'm going to do role playing game work. And you know, if I finally decided to, you know, it was time to do some comics, and the thing is now, you know, we do a lot. We do most of our stuff as web comics first, and then we collect it, right? So we got all ages comic called The Extras, man. We on our second graphic novel with that thing, and you know it's really popular. It kind of talks to all the different super cultures, subcultures. It's not just like, okay, this is for the gay community, this is for whatever, you know. It talks about a lot of stuff. It's got a lot of different type of people in it in the book, you know. We also got a mature book. It's kind of like Afrofuturism, I guess you could call it. It's called The Judafist, Seven Deaths of the Yobi.
Nice.
That book is basically you got this guy who is a bioweapon back in our time, who wakes up in the 2070s, find out he still got some relatives alive in the form of some young kids. So you know, him being, you know, who he is, he got to take care of his family. So, you know, he's doing all this bounty hunting and all that, and he's trying to basically keep his kids out of the system because the welfare system took them before.
Right.
So,
Nice.
you know, I mean, that type, I mean, you just want, a lot of stuff that we try to do, we try to connect it to people. I think I might have gave Tom a copy of that book at one time. I know I met him at a convention not too long ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right? Yeah. 100%. I have that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we try to, you know, at least make it so that people can relate to it. Regular people, you know, could be super, could be, you know, fantasy or whatever, but you at least want to try to make it so, you know, the average person can see themselves in there somewhere. You know, that's what we try.
Of course. Yep. I mean, that's the whole basis of escapist fantasy. You know, you want to see yourself in those heroes. So, have you done any Kickstarters, any Go-Go?
Yeah, we did a Kickstarter for our first anthology, Imagine Those Plus. It was successful, but my viewpoint on Kickstarter, you know, is still evolving. I got to be honest to you. You know, I see people like Tom and them. Tom, you know, you guys are getting the success, and I'm liking to see that. You know, but my thing, and this is something that I think I have to get out of. My viewpoint has always kind of been Kickstarter. Yeah, I want to kickstart me, and then I can, you know, sell my way to everything else, you know. But again, like I said, I'm not afraid to say when I'm wrong, and I think that I've been seeing that, you know, I might be wrong on that, you know. That's the thing.
Well, what do you mean Kickstart and then sell your way?
Well, all right, my thing is this. I look at the name, Kickstarter, right?
Right.
So the name, when I was getting into Kickstarter, kind of implied it all. You know, you use it as a jumping off point, and then you do whatever. But like I said, that's how I saw it then. Now, as I'm starting to see other people do things, I'm starting to understand it differently than I would, you know, 10 years ago when I did my first Kickstarter.
100%. Kickstarter at its inception was meant for people that didn't have any money and wanted to make something, and they were going to take the money and then make a thing and then get it to their backers. And then, you know, if they had, you know, making extra product or whatever it was. Sure. Now it has evolved into essentially a distribution system where it's essentially Diamond Comics. You know, you produce a campaign, you make the money, and 2 or 3 months later you ship the book out. I mean, that's literally how the comic book market works right now in retail. Except in this case, it's I'm selling it and then I'm sending it to you. Versus I'm making it, I'm sending it to Diamond sends it to retailers send it to the buyers. And along the way there are infinite numbers of gates to work through. Sure. With Kickstarter, it's I'm selling a thing. Do you want it? Yes, here it is.
What I'm trying to do right now though too is trying to see where I can hybridize that a little bit. You know, use Kickstarter for exactly what you're saying to use it for, but also take some of that product out to the stores. And
100%. That needs to be part of everybody's thought process. Yeah. It's not a matter of we sold 500, I'm going to make 500 and push it out. You've got to be making, like for us, for example, we'll do all of our variant covers, like our limited edition things that have like we're making 100 of this. That's fine. But we will always make like 500 to 1,000 just of the basic book. That way we can take those basic books and have them for sale at cons, when we do issue number 2 and people missed issue number 1, we have issue number 1s that you can put into the number 2 campaign. So we don't go crazy on the limited edition stuff, but we always make that basic reader copy available in a larger quantity so that it can move down the line as a sales channel, as a marketing channel, all that kind of stuff. 100%. And that's a piece that I think a lot of people in Kickstarter miss because they just think that they have to make whatever they need to make. And then they're done. And technically, yes. But if you're going to do another campaign and keep moving and actually build a business out of it, then you need to be looking a little further down the line.
If you're gonna make a living out of it, if you're not going at a 4-prong approach, Kickstarter, LCSs, cons, and then nowadays Whatnot, because Whatnot's huge on there. If you're not going on all of those, you're leaving money on the table.
There you go. Yeah. So another way to change your thinking is when you're selling to a store, right? Your whole campaign is about pushing that book in that week, right? Sure. And if they can't get it off of their shelf in that week, possibility they may not order you 4 months down the line, right? So with the crowdfunding system, you're looking to sell that big printing, which we always talk about, offset printing, over the course of X amount of campaigns.
Sure.
Right? Because by the time you get to your third or your fourth campaign, your margin is going to be so much higher because you've produced so many books prior to this release that you can earn a hell of a lot more on 4 books because you've done offset printing on the previous 3.
So what we found though is kind of funny with us dealing with the stores is that because we deal in such small volume with them, we make all our stuff returnable. So after about 3 months, we go back there, be like, you didn't sell that, we'll take it off your hands. And they're usually like, no, we don't want you taking off our hands. It's kind of weird. I mean, you think that they want to just give it back and whatever, but they usually never do. They don't want to take it back. They want us to take it back.
There's definitely stores that support indie stuff, and they want to support indie stuff. I was at a store the other day that has a monstrous rack full of local publisher Source Point Press stuff. I mean, it's as big as any other portion of the store. Now, I have a feeling Source Point just comes in and just stocks it up, and it's probably sold.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
Sure, but the fact that the store is willing to do that and make that display, there's a lot of stores that are willing to, really try and push and sell indie stuff. But like we were talking earlier, out of the roughly 2,500 stores that may still exist in America, about 500 of them buy indies in any sort of real quantity.
Sure.
And most of the other stores will buy it if someone asks for it. Okay, I'll put it in your pull box. I'm buying one copy, and that's all they'll do. Right. And that's where the struggle comes with.
And the thing about that is, again, you got to go at a several prong approach, because like I went to a store that didn't want to carry my books, and that's fine. You say thank you, you walk out the door, but you go back, especially after you have another campaign, and if they happen to have a customer that bought from your first Kickstarter or bought from a convention and happen to shop at the store, tell them, hey, if you shop at this store, ask for it at your pull box so I can drop it off next time that I have another book.
Not bad idea.
And I've
done that, Paul.
I've had stores that did that, so I got into the stores that way. So I mean, it's I understand a lot of these places, because
I've done that too.
My first book, I didn't get into about 10 stores, but after my second book, I got into 15, then 20. And like I said, I'm in 25 stores, including 2 stores in different states.
But I want to tack on to what Tom was talking about. And I remember the numbers are a little bit old, but this is going back to when Dinesh was running Valiant the last time, right before Bad Idea. And I remember him coming out on an interview and saying that 80% of their revenue was generated, 80% of their sales was generated from only 18% of the comic book shops that are out there. Right. And at that time, or even at that time, Valiant was what, in the top 5, maybe top 10, definitely, right? So trickle down, how many other indie people like us are out there trying to crack that and aren't even getting 1 or 0.5%, right? A quarter of a percent. Mark, you were talking about going to stores and taking stuff back and working with them, building a relationship, which is great. But in my opinion, right, and this is not a knock, I think you're wasting your time right now, brother. Yeah, that time is better served building a campaign and generating that outreach with the community that's going to support you in your future crowdfunding campaigns?
See, the thing is this though. Again, well, most of us, what I find is that I draw and I write and I do all that stuff, all that.
Mhm.
So, and then I have to go do all the other stuff too. So,
Right.
you know, it's not just spending that time. You know, as the guy who does whatever. You know, I got to make the I got to make the donuts and sell the donuts.
Right.
I kind of agree with you, Jay, about it. You know, wasting
know.
time a little bit. But the
I
other
just-
thing
I
about
think
it
that-
is comic book signings at local stores. You know, I've had
and there's nothing
store
wrong with
signings,
that. Right.
that
And free
pays
comic
better
book
than
day,
conventions.
Yes, free comic
So-
book day, stuff like that. Set it up. There's nothing wrong with that. There's
Well, I
nothing wrong.
go after every book that I put out. I go hit the comic book store. But like I said, you know, at some of the signings that I've had, they were better than 3-4 day conventions sometimes.
That's awesome.
And also, once you get that relationship established, it's easier to sell. It's easier to resell and sell new product to them. I mean, once you got the relationship set up, you know, you could just, it's not that hard getting those books in those stores anymore.
What I decided to do was, I mean, I remember back in the days when stuff used to be returnable. And then I thought to myself, I said, man, these days people aren't doing that. So maybe I should do that. and when I started doing it, my relationships with the retailers started becoming a whole lot better. You know, because they was like, man, you willing to take this stuff back? Okay, fine. You know, and then, you know, like I said, my surprise when I go to get the stuff, they're like, oh, just leave it here for a little while longer. You know.
That's a good
That's
idea.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, have you find that they push your stuff a little bit harder because of that?
Yeah, I do. To be honest with you, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're like, yo, he wants to take it back. Sell his stuff.
Well, the thing is that they'll put. We used to be on the racks, and then sometimes now, you know, we'll find ourselves, you know, in the front of the store. It's like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And where are you based out of, Mark?
Michigan.
Okay.
Detroit
Okay.
area. Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm
so
sorry.
you know Randy. You know Randy and those
I
guys.
know Randy very well.
Nice.
I have a question.
Very well.
I'm sorry. I have a question for JD. So Phantom not oh my goodness. Interceptor and
me. Okay.
yes, Rosario. Sorry, yes, you and Phantom Hawk. Where like is more of that coming? Because anyone who knows me knows I'm not really into. I don't do superhero books. That's not really the thing I'm into. But I met JD years ago, and then I started following what he was doing, and I've bought every issue of all his superhero books because they're really fun, and I really enjoy it. And so there are some of them where I'm like, there's not enough of. There's like so many characters, and then there's like not a lot of other stuff for some of them. So I'm just like wondering.
So the Interceptor, he's one of our flagship characters. So we are coming back with him. His book is going to be launching in the summer. So I'm going to be doing a book every 2 months this year. So we got one coming out at the end of this month, one coming out at the end of March, another book coming out at the end of May. And then in July, we're kicking off Interceptor again. And one of the things I'm able to do now is, you know, we had a war chest, right? So I was able to put together a few books so I can have consecutive releases as opposed to waiting 6 months or a year between releases, right? So I just got to find ways to fit that into the schedule with everything else that we're doing. So we have, we got our zombie books. We got a new title coming out. We are launching our 8th title in March. And then, we got some trades also on the docket. So I got a full schedule coming up this year. But yes, the Interceptor is coming back, and Phantom Hawk is going to be in the Storm Chasers books.
Oh, fantastic! Well,
so Jing, how much did Jay pay you to ask that question?
Don't tell him.
I was hoping it wouldn't come across like that.
Looking up my night.
No, he really did. I really enjoy what he does. And I mean, I've seen so many of the books, as we all have. We grew up seeing them, but for me, like I'm not so much into manga. Now I get it, but I grew up with wuxia. I'm into Chinese and
Me too. Me too, Zing.
Yeah, see,
I'm a huge wuxia guy.
That's what I when you're talking stuff that like blows your mind. You're talking Andy Sato, Wing Ching Ma,
Wing
Tae
Ching
Kim.
Ma.
You're talking these guys who you talk about stuff that is out of this world, and that's the stuff that I grew up on. And so it's like that's what I'm into. I've seen, you know,
that stuff.
Some of the see there. Oh, look at that, magnificent. See,
Nice.
and I've got an entire library of those books. I
Me
mean,
too.
Heaven's Sword, Dragon Saber, the Four Constables.
I'm looking at the Four Constables as we speak.
Do you got the? Oh, did you read the Delirium Dagger series? Yep, Crouching Tiger. Yep, there we go. So it's like, and for me, so that's how I learned. That's where my art style was influenced from. Those are the experts that I studied, and so that's the stuff that I like. And then I see American superhero books, and they're interesting. I get it. It's cool. It's very much, I think, a part of the Western culture. It's the interpretation of, these are kind of the Greek mythos of the West, and I get that. But a lot of it, I don't know. It's just it's whatever. But anyways, I'm saying that to say, but I really like what Unstoppable Comics does. I mean, it's fun. It really is. It's very fun. It's enjoyable. And I think if more books were, I don't know, I think if more of them came across that way, the superhero thing, maybe I might read more of them. But I just that's not really my thing at all. I'm just not. But I like what.
I thank you, and I get that it's not everybody's jam. Paul, I totally understand that. And it's not a knock with me saying this,
right?
But that's my wheelhouse, right? That's what's easy for me to do. That's what I draw to. It's not that I'm not expanding beyond that. We also have horror, we also have fantasy, we also have supernatural stuff, which we launched at the end of last year. So I am exploring other genres, but that's my bag, and if that's also one of my best sellers, I can't give up on that either.
Yeah,
I love it all.
If it works. Yeah, if it works, you got to go with what works.
Right.
I've got twins that are 14. One of them loves Miles Morales.
There you go.
But like I said, whenever I started asking them what they liked and what they didn't like about comics, the comics that I came up with, that I wrote, was more aimed towards teenagers because I felt that's the audience that was being left out. And I still feel that way because talking to the creators that I have this past year, I had a major publisher that told me my books wouldn't work because they are aimed towards teenagers. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't see why they wouldn't work because I'm selling so many of them.
Good.
So I mean,
that's awesome.
Yeah, but there's a very big difference between selling it yourself, like at Comic Cons and whatever, and putting it into Diamond Distribution's catalog, finding a retailer to care about it enough to buy more than 2 copies, and then once it's on the shelf, they have to take the time to pitch this thing to their audience. I mean, this is what's wrong with the chain of everything, and that's why crowdfunding is changing all of that.
25 bookstores, and I've gone and sold over and over to these bookstores, and they're selling without me being there. So it's like, this is the thing that I'm trying to get.
But you've actually gone in and pitched to them.
Right.
Do you see the difference? There's a difference between that and being in a huge catalog of books that nobody knows who you are. And when they flip the page, it's like, I don't know what that is. I'm moving to the next page. There's a big difference between selling personally to a store, to a customer, than just being in a catalog and not having any actual, one-on-one representation.
I definitely understand that. I definitely understand that. That's why I built flyers. Whenever I first started, I built an ash can of my first 2 books. And that was, one of the things that I did. And I tell new people, you've got to be able to sell it without being there. Yes, at a convention, yes, at a LCS signing, you are going to be able to sell it a lot better, especially if you're a salesperson. I was not. So I had to learn all that too. But I mean, my books, and I'm not trying to say it's my book specifically, but I see other people's books, and it's hard for them to sell it. You know, whenever I talk about PTSD and it being a passion project, and it's about PTSD, the title itself is what sells this book. And then if they open it up and look at the art, it's not me selling it, it's the art selling it, which is what a comic should do. And these are the things. So
right, but again, when you're doing Diamond, you don't get any of that. None of that exists. All you get to see, all those retailers get to see is a cover. And
you get the covers, the beautiful covers, and you get at least a tagline. And again,
I see what Tom's talking about. I understand that fully. I've been a victim of good old Diamond.
But again, I haven't been in Diamond yet. You know, and that's one of the things.
But we're talking about why a publisher rejected you, and I'm telling you why.
Well, the only reason they rejected me is because I didn't have a third one of Bushibu. That was the only reason they rejected. They even said, when you get number 3 out, come back and we'll. They were a top 5 publisher. They said, you get number 3 out, we're almost guaranteed to sign you as long as we have space. So, I mean, and they complimented me on PTSD, and they said if it wasn't a one shot, they would probably have signed me on that too. But I don't want to make any more of those because I didn't want to take advantage of mental illness and awareness. It was a passion project, and I just want the one. But they were like, you know, you need to make more of these, and we'll sign you. Or you need to make issue 3 of Bushibu, and we'll sign you. They're looking at my new project that's on Kickstarter, and they're saying, you know, we're going to keep an eye on and see how it sells. But, you know, it's just one of those things. And I think, you know, everybody's told me that these sell without me being there. I've had repeat orders, you know, 3 or 4 per store sometimes without me having to go to the store and sell them. So, I mean,
but again, you went to the store and sold them the first time.
Right. Well,
and so you made a connection with the retailer that was there, and he's like, "Hey, I want to show my audience these books."
Well,
when you're in Diamond, it's just a retailer looking at a catalog, and there's no interaction, and that's the hard part.
Right. And I believe it.
Gentlemen, it's the top of the hour or the top of the second hour, so we've made it to our time. All right, so I just wanted to say Happy New Year. Thank you guys for all showing up. Thank you for everybody who came.
It's nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you, Mark. And guys, listen, whenever you guys want to come on, let me know. Send me a DM. We got another show coming up next week. If you guys want to come on, talk, you know, we're here for you. Thanks, JD. We're here for everybody. Tom's been on. Zing's been on before. Mark, you're always welcome. Paul,
thank you so much.
I think I have you scheduled for next week. Jake, you want to come on?
You didn't invite me. You invite me? I'm waiting to be on your show.
You're always on the damn show. I can't get rid of you. You know? You show up at my house if I don't have him on the show.
Whoa. Only if you cook.
Okay, all right.
Actually, I'll put you to cook. You're the one that worked at a restaurant, not me.
I only if you pay for the food.
I'll get the ingredients. I don't mind that. I can do that.
Very good.
All right, gentlemen. So thank you so much. So, all right, let's do this. Mark, where can they find you and your work, sir?
You can find us at Imaginos Workshop, www at imaginosworkshop.com.
Nice.
Thank you guys so much.
What is it? Jake, where can they find you and your work, sir?
You can find me. I'm practically invisible after nuking all my social medias. But if you really, really, really want to do me a small favor of checking out Bull Meal, my existential absurdist comedy strip about the afterlife, go to Newgrounds and type Bull Meal or J Twister.
All right, cool. Zing, where can they find you and your work, sir?
You can type Symphonic Verses into any search engine, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It all shows up right there, the IMBD, everything. So you just put it anywhere and it all pops right up.
All right. Nice. Paul, where can I find you and your work, sir?
I'm Paul Gomez. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Paul Gomez 790. I'm also on the Madness Show, Realities of Comic Publishing with me, Paul Gomez, Wednesdays at 4 Central.
Nice.
All right, nice. Tom?
Yeah, basically anywhere you want to look, just look up Big Dog Inc. We kind of live on Facebook. That's where we do most of our stuff, and then it kind of splinters out from there. Instagram and Twitter is BDI Comics. Patreon is Big Dog Inc. But just look up Big Dog Inc. You'll find us. We're out there.
All right, cool. Mr. Rosario.
Unstoppable Comics, ladies and gentlemen. All roads lead to and from Unstoppable Comics for me.
All right, that's it. Just Unstoppable, really? That's it. That's all
Well,
you got?
you want the social media links? It's there. Why am I going to pay another platform? I want you to go to Unstoppable Comics. Go there. Go there. Yeah, that's how business works, man. Come on. Why am I going to say, hey, buy us on Amazon.com? No, here's the fucking link. Here's the Nobody knows Amazon exists. I'm not going to pay for that one space.
You see what I got to deal with every week? All right, so listen, the OswaldChronicles.com, TallTalesOnline.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those places, DeviantArt, on all of the JD Calderon. Thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And listen, buy more comics, especially ours, okay?
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, all. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Take care,
have a good
guys.
night, guys.
You
I'll
too.
talk to you
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.